Good afternoon. My name's Matt. And good afternoon. I had a speech that I worked on for quite a while, and then I got the notice that it was going to be 5-minute limit. So I thought I might have to redo it or something, and then I kind of laughed and said, Grandpa David would never follow a 5-minute limit anyway, so neither would I. Then I listened to these great words from everyone else that spoke about him and their experiences with him today. And I thought there was no need to repeat a bunch of what has already been said about him. So I suppose what I'll do is just kind of share with you some experiences that I had with him that you may or may not know about. Some you've seen pictures of, I can tell you for sure. General Lee, Grandpa David, the General. These are all names for him that bring up some of the most meaningful memories of the 20 years I got to spend with him. First thing that comes to mind, playing Lincoln Logs. Sorry, waking the microphone a little more. Playing Lincoln Logs at his dining room table in Columbia, where he volunteered to be General Lee as we played with my plastic army men. Somewhere along the line, that name stuck. That's what I've always known him as. A little bit of irony if you're familiar with my fraternity's spiritual founder there. But anyway, other was our first trip out west together. And that was to Colorado, skiing down the beautiful slopes of Breckenridge, Winter Park, and many of the other resorts out there. As we raced each other in the cabin to bond on it, as our Oliver men trip with no rules, my dad and my uncle. Phenomenal times. I'll never forget, and I'll always appreciate the hours he spent driving to watch my freshman team play football and later on in the varsity career. After every game, there'd always be options for me and my friends to get introductions to the MU football staff. Not that worked out at all, as you can probably tell. One of the greatest memories I'll ever have of him is a picture you already saw of me and him embracing after the state championship game. That is burned in my mind forever. I never thought that he would make it that far when he first got the diagnosis, and sure enough, he's seen me go through 2.5 years of school already. One more thing I wanted to add after Bob's little story about Mile High Stadium. I've got some friends in the audience here who experienced a similar thing with my grandpa at Houston, the Astrodome. Very much locked up and very much closed and told to go away by all the workers there. Yet he encouraged us to keep walking around until we found that unlocked door on the upper level. We've still got some pretty great pictures. Seems like there's a pattern there with this. But the thing that I'm going to cherish most about my grandpa is his love. His love for life and adventure that everyone has already spoken on, and that I will carry with me forever. It's my greatest wish to fulfill the wanderlust that he embodied. That's a love of travel and adventure. He never left a stone unturned. He bullshitted expertly. And everyone here is a testament to that. He never missed an opportunity to make friends with a stranger or someone he met at home, someone on his travels. This room's full of great people who knew him. He impacted every one of us. And in honor of him, I encourage everyone to go home, hug your loved ones, grab a drink, maybe dust off no duels for him, and plan your next vacation. For him, live your life to the fullest. That's what I want to do. He set the standard for it. So, in honor of him, I'm sure somewhere he's given us these words, but I'll do it for him since he can't speak to us directly right now. Have a quality day.
Program is the Serenity Prayer. I would ask that you join me in an attitude of prayer, and let's say that together. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Hello, I'm Debbie, David's wife. Thank you for everyone who came today to celebrate and honor David. One of his best kept secrets was that he had difficulty believing that he was loved. and the gift of cancer, and the gift that you all gave him was that he was showing that he was loved. And in the end, he knew that. His exit strategy worked because of so many people. The excitement in those final days was filled with visits from family and the kids and some friends, and little Ollie rubbing lotion on his legs, and in particular a final faculty meeting that we were able to Skype into and honor palliative medicine. He would want me to thank so many of you in this room, not only for your friendship, but also for your clinical expertise that helped him accomplish his journey. Physicians, nurses, social workers, chaplains. Especially he'd want to recognize, of course, Steve and Kevin for their tireless efforts to assure that he would be comfortable throughout his journey, especially in his last months. And there are so many others. We can't say enough about care, hospice care. In fact, if it weren't for hospice, I don't know if we could have done it all these months. And we valued every one of the nearly 180 days that they walked the journey with us. And finally, to all the friends of Bill W., and to the barbershop in particular, we thank you. Your friendship helped with the exit strategy as well, and it was very supportive. It was the friends of Bill W. that kept him from being depressed and kept him excited until the end. That assistance was no less valuable than that of any clinician. As David would say, social medicine trumps clinical every time. Among David's proudest accomplishments were his more than 30 years in AA. Today, ironically, is his 31st AA birthday, the day that he recognized in 1984 that he was powerless over alcohol. If it weren't for that day, then this day would not be like it is. My life and the lives of Jessica, Tina, and Becky were all changed 20 years ago. David was my teacher, my mentor, my very best friend, my Prince Charming, and most importantly, my husband. He made me better in every way. And for 17 years, many people didn't know the significance between our winter-summer romance. In fact, many thought I might be the older one. Whether he was trying to talk me into running marathons or climbing a mountain or so many other things. In so many ways, he was not my senior, he was my junior. It seems forever ago, and it seems like yesterday. Our little quiet wedding in Las Vegas 20 years ago had the record of probably being one of the longest in the little church on the west, and probably most unusual, no surprise. David taking control, as you might guess, we said our own vows, made promises to each other, danced in the aisle to the theme of Aladdin, and he even made our 4 shy witnesses make promises as well. Among his promises to me were, of course, to help explore the pebbles in the sandbox, both with me and the girls, as well as promising to love the girls as his very own. My promises to him included to love him unconditionally, as he was, as well as his boys, no matter what. As we sat in the living room days before he died, we reviewed each of those promises, and we were very pleased with our success. With 45 cruises, and as David would say, hundreds of honeymoons, we lived more in 20 years than most people do in 50. We loved each other around the world and in a fairy tale romance, and nobody can be more blessed than that. Now, we had our challenges, like everybody else. Successfully building that family was our biggest accomplishment and gave us the biggest joy. With unconditional love and patience, our family found understanding and sometimes forgiveness. We were challenged by dramatic confrontations with issues from former lives, including court battles. It was his love for each one of us and our love for one another that pulled us through. We were blessed to watch our family grow with weddings and 5 amazing grandchildren who we consider to be the bridge from the past to the future. David and I found a love that made each of us better, each of us stronger. One in which made us more confident, better individuals, something that neither of us had ever experienced. From that love, we built our family on the cornerstones of unconditional love, acceptance, forgiveness, and flexibility. No demands, no guilt, no expectations, just gratitude, a lot of laughter, acceptance, and a whole lot of love. A few weeks ago, David talked about the future of our family, his legacy. As you might guess, as usual, he was worried. He was acutely aware that he was the center, the glue in some cases, that held us together. He was our organizer, our worrier, our advisor, our cheerleader, the president of the OIB. We knew roles have to change now. Regardless of how those roles change, we must continue to honor him by laughing and loving one another in order to keep that spirit alive. Once again, he made sure he had the last word, leaving letters for each of us, no doubt with advice for the future. But I'm certain that mine is the only one that talks about be sure and straighten the car wheels out, still giving me backseat coaching like no other. I'm not sure how I'm going to drive. Boys, your father was so proud of you. As he told you recently, your birth showed him what love was all about for the first time in his life. He never wanted you to doubt how much he loved you, and he wanted to be the father that he never had, and I think he succeeded. Both of you are the spitting image of your dad, and because of you, we will continue to hear his laugh, his words, and see his smile. Your commitment to him in the last 3 years meant everything to him. He knew he was loved and cherished by each of you. Through Tuesday tunes and calls on the way home from work and many, many visits and journeys, you were successful in showing him that. Mike, you have embraced your father's legacy in so many ways. Your choice of food, your words, your mannerisms, your walk, your talk, and your OIB rules. You share the leadership and passion for service that your dad had. And you are now the new president of the OIB, and you will continue that legacy. Brad, your dad once told me that you, above all else, need to know more than anyone how much he loves you. You have his compassionate side, his sense of humor, and his sense of honor and duty. We need you to keep us smiling through the grief that is ahead. You are the new director of fun. As he shared only a few nights ago, it was the love that you boys taught him that showed him how to love and to raise the girls. The girls came into his life broken, in need of that unconditional love. They didn't know they were broken until they experienced the power of their dad's love. Like me, as he loved them, they blossomed, and they have become very strong, empowered women. He quickly became their teacher, their rock, and their father. I came across an essay that he wrote recently called The 4 Most Important Women in My Life. Jessica, your determination to take the Oliver name was very important to Dad, and one that he never forgot. Becky, you were the first to let Dad know that you loved him as your little feet hung off the edge of the car seat, and you said you wanted to live with us every single day. And Tina, perhaps no one grew in more confidence and security than you from Dad's love. From the girl who lived in denial and sat watching television during the biggest of crises, you are the one that was strong enough to sit calmly beside Jessica and I in the final hours, gently holding Daddy's head, talking to him, saying special, sacred words. He was able to tell Becky about 48 hours before he died that he never once thought of you girls as anything but his own. He never once regretted taking you as his own. It is not possible for a father to love their daughters more than he loved you, and you completed his legacy. The memorial video tells the story of our family better than any words. Travels around the globe, by land and by sea, laughter and hugs. Stories of ugly Aunt Patty, baseballs, talks about facts of life, off-color jokes, embarrassing stories about every one of us, sports games, Mizzou chants, cheers, and clothes, Wrong Way Oliver, Jimmy Olsen, Bobby chasing David down the street with a sword. From trips to Ha Ha Tonka to cruises in Europe, a beautiful day in Cozumel on a floating raft, we have so many family memories. He believed that the only thing stopping us from travel was buying an airplane ticket. As David said to me, continue to explore the pebbles in the sandbox. I will be with you when you see the old, and I will be with you when you experience the new. We will now carry him to the top of a mountain in Estes Park, a place he discovered with Bobby that he felt safe and secure. His sacred place. No more oxygen, medicines, ice helmets. Patch is gone. David lives on. Our family will have more births and weddings and graduations and celebrations in our life together. He will be at every one. We have photos and we have the smiles in each of your faces. And together we will teach little Ollie and all those that follow what it means to be an Oliver. He will be there when we see the sights of the world, and David will be there when we are together, laughing and planning, watching grandchildren grow, and watching their children grow. I want to try to end this with a love letter that he gave to me. It's in the end of the book. And let me share so that I give him the very last word. Love has many definitions, many expressions, and while elusive, when we encounter it, we know what it is. It is like magic, a chemical reaction that brings about a physical response over which is poured all kinds of emotion, a sense of well-being. It is like nothing in the world can take it away. Ecstasy is not an adequate word to describe it, nor is serenity. And yet, it is both and more. It produces a feeling that you are somebody, that you count, that you have value and worth. And it draws you very close to the person with whom you are sharing it. I love you, David Oliver.
Room in the world, best area in the world, the longest wedding. I think we're candidates for probably the longest memorial service it's ever been held, and you all deserve a round of applause for yourself. But what a great celebration this has been. And just since we're finishing up March Madness, I'll say there is 1 minute left in the game. My name is still Keith, and I love David Oliver. You know, the term fan is actually short for fanatic. Yes. And as we've remembered here today, David Oliver was really a fanatic about just about anything in which or in whom which he became interested and involved. Our introduction was made through our common interest in caring for elders as gerontologists and long-term care providers. We shared a passion for trying to advance the field at the macro level and for improving the lives of our most vulnerable people and their families. Our friendship grew in many directions, and its depth and something we appreciated most about one another was our deep sense of loyalty, which you've heard all about in many different ways today, to values, to people, to our country, to self. And a dominant element of our relationship during more recent years has been the consistent fashion in which we wound up on the opposite sides of sports rivalries. His Mizzou Tigers and my Kentucky Wildcats. That doesn't end there. His Kansas City Royals and my Detroit Tigers. St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds in the National League. And our long-suffering shared experience as fans of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank God for the Olympics. We could at least cheer for the same team. Anyway, sports holds such a great metaphor for life's experiences, whether as a competitor or as a fan. Now, I'm dressed in UK blue today in honor of David's core belief and standard of being true to your school. How fitting that I get to watch from his chair last night in their living room. the narrow UK victory to make it into this year's Final Four. It was as if by special invitation, that's where I found myself. In fact, I believe it probably was. They have a vaulted ceiling in there, and you can see firmly my handprint on the top of that as the game came to a close. We've shared fun stories and memories throughout the weekend, and I've been so honored to have been a part of this celebration. Thank you for that. Blessings and thanks to David's entire family, to everyone who helped remind us of why we loved him so, and to all who gathered today to honor his memory. As we close this celebration, we invite you to vault from your seats and clap in unison for the joy of a game-winning effort, as if the Mizzou Tigers had just scored the go-ahead winning touchdown, or the buzzer beater basket goes in while time expires, while the family leads the way out. But first, the tradition with which we started the service that David took the lead on, I want everyone on this side of the room to challenge the others on this side of the room with O-R-I and V-E-R. You try it? You ready? On cue,